Hello and welcome back to What is the Channel, where we break down the complex, the confusing, and the things that are constantly buzzing over your backyard. Today, we're tackling one of the most transformative, and sometimes terrifying, technologies of the 21st century. It's small, it's fast, and it has more cameras than a Hollywood red carpet. What is a drone? If you ask the average person, they'll probably point to a buzzing quadcopter flown by a teenager in a park. But that machine is just the latest, friendliest face of a technology that has been shaping conflict, agriculture, and cinema for decades. Let's start with the name. The word drone is wonderfully descriptive, in a slightly insulting way. Originally, a drone is a male honeybee. He doesn't gather nectar, he doesn't make honey, and his primary function is to mate with the queen. But the most important part, he makes a low, continuous humming sound. A drone. When people started building unmanned, remote-controlled aircraft, used primarily as flying targets for anti-aircraft practice in the 1930s, the name stuck. They were noisy, often expendable, and flew around aimlessly, much like their insect namesake. But that's where the etymological comedy ends, because the modern drone is far from aimless. Technically speaking, a drone is any unmanned aircraft or ship operating without a human pilot aboard. The official term is UAV, unmanned aerial vehicle. It's also sometimes called an RPAS, remotely piloted aircraft system. But because UAV sounds like something you get stuck in traffic behind, the public prefers the snappy, humming clarity of drone. These machines are defined by three core things. 1. They fly without an onboard pilot. 2. They are controlled either by a remote human operator on the ground, or, increasingly, by complex onboard computer programs, making them truly autonomous. And 3. The real game changer, they are expendable. The history of the drone is fascinating because it's a story of targets becoming tools. For decades, military drones were simply modified hobby planes, designed to be shot down in practice drills. It wasn't until the 1980s that engineers realized, wait a minute, instead of just shooting these down, why don't we strap a camera to one? This kicked off the age of surveillance. Drones offered the 3 Ds of military operations: dull, dirty, and dangerous missions. Why put a life at risk flying reconnaissance over enemy territory when you can send a machine instead? This innovation soon filtered into the consumer market, and that's where things really took off, literally. The widespread availability of GPS, miniaturized cameras, and affordable lithium polymer batteries turned the high-tech military surveillance aircraft into a viable Christmas gift. The key breakthrough wasn't just the small size. It was the birth of the quadcopter. Older models relied on fixed wings, like traditional planes, requiring runways and complex aerodynamics. The modern, popular drone uses 4 or more rotors. These rotors are controlled independently by tiny computers, using gyroscope and accelerometer data hundreds of times per second. That means even if you, the pilot, panic and forget which way is up, the drone is already calculating and correcting its balance, keeping itself perfectly level. It practically flies itself. This combination of stability and accessibility has exploded the applications, far beyond military reconnaissance and awkward home movies. Today, drones are essential tools in industries that look nothing like the battlefield. In agriculture, they map fields with infrared cameras, detecting tiny changes in crop health that are invisible to the naked eye. In construction, they survey sites and monitor progress in minutes, a task that used to take teams of people days. This isn't just a time saver, it's a safety revolution. And, of course, there's entertainment. Drones have completely reshaped filmmaking. You want a dramatic cinematic sweep, gliding inches over the water and then soaring straight up to 500 feet. That used to require a helicopter, a trained pilot, and a six-figure insurance policy. Now, it takes a guy with a controller and a case that fits in the trunk of a car. Then you have FPV drone racing, that's first-person view, where pilots wear goggles that put them virtually inside the cockpit, sending them through obstacle courses at speeds up to 120 miles per hour. It's like Star Wars pod racing, but real. Even as we embrace this technology, we have to acknowledge the growing pains. Because the drone is such a personal, decentralized technology, it raises massive questions about privacy and regulation. Who owns the airspace above your head? When does filming for fun cross the line into illegal surveillance? The answer to what is a drone is constantly shifting. It used to be a buzzing dummy target. Today, it's a flying supercomputer capable of delivering medicine, mapping volcanoes, or capturing a wedding from a unique perspective. It's a tool driven by our intentions. It's only as good or as invasive as the person holding the controller. It started as a noisy bee, and now it's arguably the most accessible and versatile robotic platform ever invented. Thank you for tuning in to What Is. If you learned something new about these buzzing marvels, hit that like button and tell us in the comments what you think the next major drone application will be. Delivery pizza, perhaps. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next video. See you next time.